cetera, et cetera. And I can't wait for you to meet her. So just stay tuned for everyone on. We're going to introduce her a little later. But for you in the chat, like, what's that shift? Is it in your diet? Is it in your time blocking? Is it in your process mastery? Is it in your marketing mastery? Is it in your sales mastery, your operations mastery? What is the one section that can make the greatest difference? So like, let's drop it in the chat. Let's drop some words in there. Even if it's just one word: food, health, family, in my love, in my like self-time. What is that for you? Because we do read the chat, and it also gives everyone in the movement an opportunity to see what you're currently working on. And remember, this huddle's the anchor. This huddle's where we start our day. And the more vulnerable we are, and you've seen Sean, he shares openly, not only about the amazing things he's accomplished in the world, he also shares about his mistakes and what he's learning and when his self-mastery drops. And that's one thing that I've always fallen in love with the formula, is that it's built with imperfection. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. So I'm seeing Adam Gugino out there, my brother in arms. We're actually matching today, totally by mistake. And you're muted, so let's just unmute for a quick second. What's up with you, Mr. Gugino? And I love the fact that I'm seeing you on here now every morning. Like, what's present for you in like 60 seconds on Trajectory Tuesday?
I think you started with, something very close to my heart right now. What are some of the changes you can make and to have the greatest impact? And for me, what's on my mind is just really honing in on my health overall, not just physically, but also just internally. And just really, any free time that I have, that's been my focus, because of the fact that we are so, incredibly immersed in what we're doing, that we need energy and we need the right nutrients, we need the right exercise. So I'm just, that's what's present for me, and looking forward to an incredible September.
Well, right on, brother. And we are definitely doing it together. And for everyone, Adam Gugino, fellow co-founder, brother in arms, here at Unblinded, took a company from 7 to 10 figures like it was freaking clockwork, building a call center from 0 to 500. And he plays pickleball, he wears sweatbands, and he's still working on his self-mastery. So I share that in fun, in love, and in Zeus, because even though Adam has accomplished many things, there's always areas of improvement, especially when you have the formula. And brother, congratulations. I think you've lost double digits in pounds in weight among having, 500 calls a month, working 90 hours a week, having a beautiful relationship with your family. You've still lost that weight. And that is definitely an example of beautiful self-mastery. So Mr. Callagy, hello, sir. What's happening? And we have some guests today. We got Adam here. We got you. And what's present for you on this Tuesday, sir?
Adam's amazingness, yours as well, Frando, and just the commitment of everybody here to being here. Congratulations, Adam, and everything you're doing, brother, with that amazing mental challenge. I think we're all going through it, and everybody out there in the movement, this is all about you and us. I was on a call this morning, and I think this is a key distinction. Like, everybody wants to change the world, right? I don't think the world needs changing. Everybody wants to create transformation for themselves. I don't think you need transforming. I think it begins with us taking care of business with ourselves, and if we take care of business with ourselves, we master a formula, then we could be leaders leading leaders to merge ecosystems to make great things happen. And we never stop working on ourselves ever, and so that is what's super present for me on Trajectory Tuesday. I am in my heart. I am ready. I am clear. You don't need transformation, and we never get to change the world though, unless we optimize our mastery. And the world doesn't really actually need to change. We just all need to optimize our level of mastery, integrity, love, and skill development. That's what needs to happen. We need to optimize our level at which we can hear one another. Everybody can hear one another in meaningful, effective, intelligent ways. And that's not code for a political statement on any side. It's just a statement for that's how these challenges get solved that the world is facing right now. I am crystal clear on that. And when I hear, there's massive challenges, and this is not speaking into racial divide and anything specific, right? There's epic challenges that are just ridiculous. And I've said in these huddles before, the Boston Tea Party was enough. And people threw tea in the river, they would have been called terrorists if not. I'm not justifying violence, right? I'm not saying there's times when things are appropriate. I'm not assessing or weighing in on this. If I had 4 hours and I was be assured that nobody would excerpt out any one sound bite I said, I would love to talk about this for 4 hours and not have it distorted, because I have loads to say about everything that's going on, right? In my heart, I'm not saying I have all the solutions, but I know what's not working in every direction imaginable, right? And that's different from what the precise solutions are to solve really complex systemic challenges that exist in a million different ways, including the fact that we're printing trillions of dollars and pretending like everything is wonderful with the economy as we print trillions of dollars. So there's all kinds of really complex things going on. And we could talk about all that, but that doesn't help your money, time, and magic. And I'm not saying we don't care about it, but they're like simultaneous. And to me, what it looks like, and this I will weigh in on emphatically, it looks like 95%, maybe 99% of focus and energy is on what we can control. You know, like this weekend, I could have sat around, no bragging, no nothing, because I'm suboptimal in a million ways, as are you, as is everybody, as is everybody you like and love and everybody you can't stand. They're all suboptimal and have enormous opportunities for growth and mastery. But we could have spent all day this weekend debating the challenge of the world, worrying about them, crying about them, right? Which are real. Or we could have surfed as two blind dudes with like Mike Armstrong and remember the magic of life that exists, right? Like it exists. And not forget about the fact that blind people have a 75% unemployment rate, but be working towards a change and not bad mouthing, maligning, others. Like, dude, I'm not doing everything I can do. Let me take care of me. Like, let me take care of me. And let me not make anybody else wrong, no matter what side I sit on any issue. We can make the issue wrong, but like, let's solve challenges and optimize mastery, which is code for nothing about any specific issue. It is a standard of what we are here to believe. And I'm just in loving excitement and gratitude. And what we're standing against in the space of Unblinded is fear and distortion. Fear and distortion. Let's like deal with what is. Like, let's not step into fear and distortion, and let's deal with ourselves optimally, love ourselves, love other people, and create massive acceleration and progress. So that said, that's what we're checking in on. And if we don't get to it today, because we have our amazing guests, tomorrow, Fernando, let's seed this. We're going to talk about what the precious resource of your money, time, and energy and where you invest it. Because, oh my goodness, the greatest challenge for humankind is the waste of their genius, their potential, their possibility. By investing money, time, and energy. We just seeded it right now. Like us talking, complaining about, the left, the right, people of every sort of motive and issue. And if we want to talk about, should we or should we not have certain laws on the books? Like if you're not actively doing something about it, like spend a couple of minutes learning it, right? Make a post or something if you want to get the message out there in the world, and take care of your business of optimizing what you're up to in the world. Because the world needs you at your best, not another critic. The world has enough critics. The world needs people doing things. The world needs people doing things, not criticizing. Like, it needs people doing things. We need to critique what's happening and optimize it. Great. So let's critique for like 1 minute and 1%, and let's make things happen with 99%. So Fernando, what's up, and who do we have coming in for today?
Let's do it. So a lot of things running through my mind. I just want to add this quote in as we transition to our lovely speaker here today. It's one on my vision board right here to my left, talking about changing the world and all those dynamics. Two reframes. One, Mother Teresa said, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. And I had a shift about a couple days ago. And Sean, you've always said this, but this is just another example of the leading, diluting, and distorting. You've always said that your first why was to be a possibility for your family. And now it's changed and evolved. And I've always heard you say it. And I was like, yeah, it's awesome. It resonated. But the other weekend, it really landed because I had this whole rewriting humanity, peopleification. And as I sat, meditated in tears and thought about, first generation American, who I am as a leader for my family, what it really is to be a possibility. First, person to own a business, first person to graduate college, first person to impact, speak on stages, do what's doing. That's what I've become in the world. And to me, as I've matured, that time with family is so critical. And as we talk about self-mastery, I'm downloading what you said, what Adam said, some conversations I had with Rob Gill. It's a constant ever improvement in the world of self-mastery, how you show up, your vulnerability, and how you communicate. And I love the fact that we have this outlet together to create that. So thank you for that space. And now let's introduce our speaker.
Real quick, brother. So, and if you're like Fernando's like, I'm going to rewrite humanity. You're not rewriting anything unless your level of mastery is 9.9999. And
Yes.
your level of mastery, and when I say you, it's me, you, Fernando, everybody, right? We're not rewriting humanity, we're not changing the world until our mastery rises and until we confront ourselves, confront our fears, optimize our skill sets. Dude, if you can't make 10 cold calls, you ain't rewriting anything. If you can't make 10 cold calls, you're not changing the world. Are you kidding? Like, are you kidding? Like, I love you, but are you joking? Like you're going to sit back and critique the world from your couch, right? And you're going to change the world? Are you kidding? You're going to criticize everything that's happening in the world, whatever side you're on, you know, if you, whoever, of anything, right? I'm not like sports teams. You're going to sit and watch sports all weekend and yell and scream about what an a-hole the coaches of the team, and you can't make 10 cold calls. Where are you going? And I'm not criticizing or judging you. I'm telling you the fact. Like, just like if I say to you, you're not going to get in shape if you sit on the couch and just eat ice cream all weekend and never work out. It's the same reality. Like, nothing's going to happen. Nothing. So that's like, and I'm in my loving Coach Slazak, Coach Ennis, like Herb Brooks mode, combined with like visionary Bill Gates mode. Like, I'm clear on what is, and lovingly. And I'm clear that you want that because you're here. So let's do it together. So who's up, Brandon?
Let's do it together. So I'm going to just look at my phone here. I'm excited to introduce Stacie Fredrich, who is a member of our elite training program. That's how she was introduced to our ecosystem. And I actually read her bio earlier, and I'm interested in this fun fact at the end that I didn't even know. But here's some data about our lovely guest, Stacie. So Stacie is an international regulatory consultant owning her own consulting company. Stacie is a designer of luxury vacation rentals and condos. She designed, built, and owns and operates a luxury multi-million-dollar vacation rental, hint, hint, unblinded getaway in the Colorado Rocky Mountains. Stacie also has active estate project in various parts of the US with single family residential flips, including low income residencies. And fun fact, y'all, on top of all that, Stacie also passively invests in real estate, both commercial and residential, and she's a musician. At heart, she plays 11 different, 1. I can't even play one. She plays double that, 11 different instruments, and loves writing her own beats. Not songs, her own beats. She recently started a new music venture, because why the heck not? When you're doing all that, let's just start a record label to create her own music. So friends, family, unblinded movement. What's up, Stacie Fredrich?
Oh, and by the way, she also beats up people in the neighborhood boxing in mornings. So Stacie, how are you?
Oh my God. Add it to the list.
You guys are so fun. I love it. Thank you so much for the introduction, and for you just yes, it's incredible. Thank you so much, Fernando, for all your energy, and Sean and Adam. I really appreciate all three of you and your different perspective and insight, and just your passion to help individuals improve themselves, have more self-awareness, have more self-mastery. And yeah, I'm excited to be on this journey with you all.
We're excited as well, Stacie, and thank you so much. So why all that? So, you know, like it's extraordinary. And, you know, we were having a conversation yesterday, and I was just so blown away by your sort of boundless curiosity and desire for growth. It's like what is super present, and what has driven that. And then we'll drop into some of the business dynamics in a minute, but like what drives 11 instruments, like what drives boxing in the morning, like what drives like what's it all about?
It's really, why not? It's we have this beautiful world we're living in. Why not embrace and experience everything we can? It doesn't, you know, it's not about perfection. It's about it's really about experiencing different things and trying different things out and unlocking any of your limits. So to not have a limit, to just to have that vulnerability and have that exposure, because I believe with that exposure, you learn more about yourself. You have you're able to have more self-awareness because you're having different experiences and you're exposed to just to different things. So
awesome. And you stepped into a space, and I think this is accurate, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong, when there were not very many women at all standing in the space that you were in the world and the work that you were doing. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that's a fair statement. Yes, I over a decade ago, I jumped into consulting, and I went from a full-time job with benefits and stability to a 3-month consulting opportunity with no benefits and limited certainty there. But I knew that it was something, just a passion that I had, that I needed to challenge myself, and I needed to unlock those limits and jump into something different and uncomfortable, because I think it's important to push yourself through those limitations that you might have in your mind.
Yeah. And so awesome. And so how just confronting an issue that we talk about, bias and complexities of things. So how are, if you don't mind sharing, and if you do, we'll go next question, but how was relating to some of the gender dynamics in those, complex spaces, of where there were far more men than women? Like how did that show up for you, and how did you navigate those, or did it show up at all?
Yeah, so initially it was somewhat intimidating. However, what I changed my perspective, which I think is so important, because it's really how you look at a situation. And my perspective was pivoted to focus more on who are the individuals that I can really learn from, and that inspire me, and that live with integrity, and that can teach me how to optimize my skill set. And so by changing my perspective, it was really healthy for me. But yes, initially it was very challenging, because it's intimidating going into a space where you have a very powerful presence with different individuals, and they already have that they have already optimized their skill set. And so to play the game, I guess you could say, you have to change your perspective, and you have and really focus on how can you then optimize your skill set, so that way you can contribute as well. Because I wanted to contribute. It wasn't just about then soaking up information and knowledge from these individuals from in this environment, but also so that way I can give back as well. So my focus changed.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that you reframed your story.
Yes.
You had to deal with your self-mastery, right?
Yes.
So you dealt with yourself by reframing your story.
Yes.
And then you saw the need to not just like absorb and receive.
Exactly.
Add massive value, and you got more work. A lot of folks on here want to get more work in the space of coaching, consulting, training, and you were in a super specialized, highly competitive area, highly complex area.
Right.
And you did it by adding massive value. I'm sure confronting your fears, and you had to be engaged in a lot of different conversations with a lot of different people about generating more work in business. And it seems like that was not, it eventually came to a point where your mastery rose to a place where that was not at all a challenge for you. Is that a fair synopsis?
That's a fair synopsis, yes. And that was really the beginning of my journey of just to discover, to start working more on that self-mastery piece, to change my perspective of the situation and not become more of a victim or think of it as a hindrance, but really to embrace it, and then to focus on what is it that I can improve, so that way I can also contribute. And I think that is so key because, as you were saying earlier, Sean, it's we not going out and saying, oh, we're going to change the world. Really, we focusing on what can we master within, so that way we can contribute at our highest level. Because at that point, then changes start happening and beautiful, movements are created. But it's really that journey of understanding, your own, having more awareness of your own subconscious thoughts, and having more, just optimizing your daily habits.
Oh, that's awesome. And as opposed to sitting back, and you could have had every right in the world to be critical, stop your action, and been totally validated and justified and understandable, right?
Yes.
And what, I mean, for everybody out there, when I was a kid, probably to this day, but I remember being like 9 and sitting at a Jet game, like the NFL, the New York Jets. And I remember sitting with people who are like, yep, same old Jets, and we're going to lose today. Oh, gee, like a pass will be thrown and there'd be an interception, something bad would happen for the Jets. And everybody would be like, oh, geez, wow, like they suck. And blah, blah, like I'd be sitting there at 9, and I was literally thinking this: how is this helping? I don't know why I thought that. My dad was yelling and screaming and saying the same things, but I remember, like, I was thinking, like, how does this help? So if I'm like the Jets screaming, like, and I remember thinking, like, there's a thing, like when the crowd cheers, like good things tend to happen. And then when the crowd is like out of it, they're waiting. I remember thinking this at 9 years old, like when things aren't going right, people are waiting for something good to happen. I remember thinking, like, if we all just cheer, isn't it more likely that something good will happen for a team and we'll all be happier? Honest to God. And so I'm going to ask you, Stacie, why do you think that's correct? Like, we're like, and there's a principle of being like a cause over something, or being an effect of something. And we're a cause over something, like we're investing positive vibrational energy and action into creating a change. Now, I've been in cases where I had to literally destroy liars, crush like things people are doing, right? Like, so I get that sometimes it's not critical. I wasn't sitting there complaining about it. Probably did a little bit, right? But I was acting. I was like, how do we disarm the lie? How do we reframe this? Like, it's action. Like, so it's not just Pollyannic, but what it's not is saying, oh, blah, blah. Like, how is that helping? So was I right at 9 years old? And what do you see in terms of that in the world today?
Right. So Sean, I believe on one call you spoke about the distinction, an emotional and energetic transference. And you were talking about there's no transfer if we have no energy. And that really resonated with me. So going to your point is, if you're not speaking up and bringing your energy and your intention to the table, how are you making an impact, really? So it's you have to show up. You have to I don't know how to say. I think it's important. I think you have a personal responsibility to show up.
Yeah. And so final, Stacie, what are you committed to creating? So you've had so many beautiful things happen. And by the way, I define success as people living an intentional life and achieving their outcomes and reevaluating going forward. And it seems like you've been insanely successful, right? You've been intentional and you've created outcomes that you've wanted. Like, what are you committed to creating from here?
That's a fantastic question, Sean. So I am currently on the search for more of the why. Why do we do what we do? What is our purpose of what we're doing? And to have more clarity and with every action and whatever we're speaking is we want to have intention, like a positive intention around it. And so I'm committed to find my why, to have that self-mastery, to optimize my skill set, because I know once I have that self-mastery, which will most likely be my entire life of discovering that by living that truth with myself, I know that it could potentially impact other people in a positive way. And that's what I would love is to master that self, and then have that positive impacts to help others master themselves. So that way we have more of a movement. We have more of a power punch, like you might say, and we live in that response, we have that responsibility and live in that responsibility to own who we are, not pointing the finger at and being critical of other people, but really owning who we are and being vulnerable, and the imperfections of it all too, because so many different times when I was younger, I really wanted to be perfect with everything, but just to throw that away, throw that perfection away, and just be true and raw and vulnerable. So,
Stacie, that is awesome. You're leading an intentional life. I'm super grateful for your involvement in the program, your being here today, and everything you're up to in the world. So keep an eye on what Stacie's up to, because she's rocking things out, and like your commitment to mastery truly is present. You just feel it and you're living it. And so thank you, and have a beautiful Trajectory Tuesday.
thank you so much, Sean and Adam and Fernando. I really appreciate this time with the three of you, and I hope that you also have an amazing day.
Right. Thank you. The sun's out. That means waves.
Thank you.
5 or 10 minutes for waves today. Awesome. So Fernando, what say you, brother?
What say I is that I am grateful for the powerful women in my life, for the powerful women in this movement. I'm grateful for my mom, my girlfriend, my niece. I forget where in my life this came from, but it really impacted me. And it's incredible how it's the women in your life that truly make you a man. So Stacie, Patricia, Kristen, and the many other giant lists that I am not naming in our movement. Thank you. Thank you for displaying. And Stacie, I want you to just walk away with this one. Jean says, thank you, Stacie, for sharing your journey. I'm just rebooting, and you have really inspired me this morning. We also have Patricia. I saw one. Just give me 1 second to scroll here. This dialogue has enlightened me to a subtle silence. Today, I will take action towards speaking to the greatness of people and our human community. So with that, here's the final takeaway on a fun fact. Whenever you see Sean grab his right hand, go across his forehead and twitch his hat twice and do a little step forward, I call that the Callagy twitch. Boys and girls, strap on, because it's gonna be one of those calls. And today was one of those calls. So thank you, Sean. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Stacie. And over to you, Mr. Callagy, for final.
Yeah, no, thank you, everybody. That is awesome, Fernando. And yes, I am not, there is no unblinded, there is no Callagy law, there is no building of any of these things without my mom. My mom, when I wanted to quit every single day, when I first started the law firm, my mom came aboard. She had an administrative background at some point. She had worked in a law firm. She had worked secretarially, as they called secretaries back in the day. And when she stepped into that world, everything came together. And I might have actually fallen victim to my own lack of self-mastery and finally quit. I want to quit every day. I might have actually done it. I very, very likely would have actually done it back in 1997 without her love and support. No way. And saved me time and time again from just things that she had more energy to deal with, more desire to deal with, more skill to deal with than I did. And my grandmothers, I could talk forever. And this beach house exists here where it does because of them. and just so many other incredible people. And Mona sitting here, who is, doing all kinds of things that allow me to function during the day. And I can't thank you enough, Mona, for that. Yeah. And so love you. And yeah, so love all you, immensely grateful. And the list goes on and on, of incredible people, and particularly women that have an impact in this movement, that have had a direct impact in my life. I was raised much more, if you're going to have a balance, much more impacted by women than men. My aunts, my grandmothers, my mom, had great men, wonderful men, which I said on Father's Day, and all my coaches, but the heart-centeredness, the depth of empathy that is present was conditioned into me by incredible matriarchs. So on this Trajectory Tuesday, let's rise trajectory. Let's be in our hearts, and let's have simple, fun, and magical micro distinctions and frictionlessness that free us from fear and distortion to create exponential abundance. Tomorrow, let's really focus on where we're investing our time, energy, and money, especially our time and energy, because those resources are way more precious than cash, right? Cash is needed, but time and energy can create all the cash in the world. And a lot of us are doing great things with that, but all of us have access to extraordinary amounts more. See you on the group coaching calls today, and